everybody. Welcome to the GeoStar podcast. On the occasion of International Women's Day, I'm thrilled to have our dietitian, Pallavi, joining us today. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wish you happy Women's Day.
Same to you, ma'am. So, to kick things off, on this occasion of International Women's Day, what does this mean to you personally, ma'am?
For me personally, Women's Day is every day. We just don't celebrate it every day. We formally celebrate it one day, but the thing is, women has to be celebrated every day. She is the one who takes care of everything, takes care of the whole world, you can say. She is the driving motto, and she is the one who everybody depends on. So Women's Day is always.
Yeah, exactly. So, as a woman, we have different stages in life, starting from teenage, early adulthood. There are different stages for women. So, let's come to the topic of teenage and early adulthood, ma'am. So, in teenage for girls, there are a lot of problems that girls suffer. It can be anemia, it can be hormonal imbalance. So, let's start with hormonal imbalance. Can we just understand the hormonal imbalance at an early stage? Is it some way to identify? Because those hormonal imbalance are causing PCOD, PCOS, which is very common right now. Even every girls, I can say, they're suffering from them. So, can we understand or can we just correct this hormonal imbalance at an early stage?
Yes, of course, we can correct it in at an early stage. Basically, what happens from the childhood to puberty, the stage which they step into, there they get all these hormonals comes under the control. It takes control of entire body, and it starts fluctuating because there are many reasons behind it. It's not just a hormone, as it is, it starts fluctuating, or for no reason it starts fluctuating. No, it will not happen like that. Especially in the teenage, when they hit to puberty, they get uh, this hormonal comes under influence, and again that is causing a fluctuation in their body because of their activities, because of their lifestyle, because of their eating habits. Maybe many children, they will not eat on time also, because of their again their activities and their studies, and lots of junk foods they take. It is not a proper timing food, and all these things matters, and that's the reason hormones are affecting them, and they are getting all these PCOS, PCOD, hormonal issues. Early age only they get cyst kind of problems, and mood swings, irritation, and stress, anxiety, all these issues.
Okay, that was really informative, ma'am. So, can you just give us few tips to our audience, especially teenagers, where you can just tell them what foods to have, something which can they can skip, which will be really useful for all the teenagers out there.
To skip, definitely all junk foods they have to skip, and to have, they should mainly focus on home cooked food, with the proper nutrition, whatever regional and seasonal, whatever we get in our region and season, we have to consume all such kind of foods, and along with that their activities should be on track.
Okay, I have one more question for you, ma'am. So, acne is a major issue for all the teenagers out there. So, is it really because of the junk food that they consume?
Junk food is a root cause, and hormonal imbalance happens due to their bad consumption, and they will go through lots of insulin resistance and too many things, too many hormonal issues internally, and because of that they get acne is not just hormonal. It is again environmental stress, and not washing their face regularly, or cleanliness, and lack of sleep also. Like they'll be up for studies or whatever the reason for longer hours, that also can cause the acne issues. But basically, it is not just for the junk food. Junk food is the root cause.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. So, there is one more important concern, not just for teenagers, but in general, women, I can tell you. They all suffer from anemia. So, what might be the reason for that? Is it the lifestyle that they follow? What is your call on that, ma'am?
So, in most of the cases, anemia is not just because of low iron. It is basically, for most of the women, it's low absorption. Either the poor gut health is not on a good track, and gastritis or acid reflux kind of issues they are facing, or they'll be having low stomach acid, or their eating habits are not good, or their menstrual cycle is not good. Basically, if the menstrual cycle is not on a track, then they'll go through lots of periods flow, and that causes anemia again. So multiple reasons are there. When we find out what is the reason, root cause, then we can easily address that. Many women, they consume good iron content food and good diet also, but the absorption rate is really less, then they cannot help. So at
Okay.
that time, we have to help them to find out what is the root cause.
So, as we started different stages in women's life, now we discussed about teenage and early adulthood. Let's jump into the after marriage life of a woman. So, what do you think, ma'am? I know marriage is really important. It depends as well, depends on each woman how they see their life, getting married or not getting, being single in their life. It's their personal choice. I understand that, but there are hormonal changes that happens after marriage, after giving birth to a child. So is there anything that women has to take care before conceiving, or I know their body is going to change in a different manner? So, is there something that women have to take care before they plan their pregnancy? How can you just uh, give us an information on that?
Basically, once they start their period cycle, their body is prepared for the childbirth. But the thing is, mentally, how they are ready, in which stage they are in. Are they ready for the childbirth? Are they ready for the ready for conceiving? And whether they can able to handle it. That is most important, because most of the women, maybe by force, society pressure or family pressure, or something like, feel like everyone has a child, I should have a child. This kind of a pressure they built inside, they get inside, and they go for a baby. But finally, they cannot be a good parent also. At the same time, they cannot handle the pressure also. It's not easy, having a baby and managing everything. Mostly these days, most of the women these days, women, they are career oriented also. They concentrate on their career, at the same time they work on their family also, to maintain the bonding and happiness within. But the thing is, balancing both is not that easy. So they should be mentally prepared for it first. Physically, they'll be prepared when they start getting their periods, but mentally they should be prepared. And at the same time, most of the women, they take their hormonal issues seriously when they plan for the conceiving. For example, they want to go for a child. At that time, they go to gynecologist and they go for a checkup, and they come to know that the lady has a PCOD or PCOS kind of issues, or fatty liver, or overweight, she cannot conceive at that time, or some other reasons. So generally couple goes, either male fertility rate is less, or something will be there, some issues they find out. At that time, they start concentrating how to get rid of this, how to come out of this and have a baby. And they go to a pressure, they go to a situation where they go through lots of pressure, thinking that if at all it is not happening, then what is the solution, how can we answer, or how can we face the society. This pressure creates even the makes the situation even more worst. So
Yes.
they should be well prepared, they should be well planned, and they should always think about their internal health first. Am I getting proper period cycle? My digestion is proper, my gut health is good, my activity level is good. I don't have, whether I have a stress or I don't have, I sleep properly, I eat properly. Am I happy now? All
Yeah.
these things matters a lot for a conceive.
Yeah. So, what is the ideal age as per you to get pregnant? If you can tell our audience, ma'am.
So medically, you can get. I mean, anybody can get conceived at 18 itself. But the thing is, what I feel mentally, it's better to think after 25, 26, up to 40, they can think of it. But again, with their mental health balance. So that is most important, because it's not just giving birth to a baby, it's taking care of a baby and managing or going with the another life, giving the life to another person, and making a person as healthy and responsible.
I would also wanted to ask, there is a myth that after 30, a woman is supposed to live her life taking care of her family, taking care of her children, husband. It's the pattern that we see these days. So, is there something that the hormones affect after post 30s?
Actually, if society puts so much of pressure, definitely it affects. Otherwise, women life starts from 30s, because till then they'll be busy with the studies, maybe under control of their parents, and thinking that even to spend, even to explore things, then they'll have lots of limitations. But once they start earning, once they see around the world, they have lots of things to explore. So again, in for most of the women, in 30s only they get into all this marital status and new family, new life, new kind of environment to adjust. And again, when you take it positively, definitely you explore more. When you take it as a burden, then definitely you go through lots of burden. But hormonal health, how you take things, how you are able to manage things, that matters a lot. For everyone, there will be work pressure, there will be society pressure, there will be lots of things to achieve, lots of dreams to achieve. But at the same time, everyone who are all achieved today, everybody had go through the same kind of a pressure life. So in spite of that, they have achieved so many things. That has to be in mind. And hormonal health, for every women, it is there, fluctuating, or sometimes it is in a bad state. Depends on sleep cycle, depends on their habits, depends on their food, depends on their work pressure. So it has to be managed.
So, since we covered the topic of after marriage, let's slowly skip into the topic of motherhood. Motherhood, family stress, and all of that. So, once women, after her pregnancy, there are a lot of changes that's going to happen in her body. It can be from weight gain, it can be changes in her hormones, her mental state, everything. So, how important is the society to understand that after her pregnancy, after she delivers a baby, the stress that she is undergoing is cannot be expressed to somebody else. It can even not even her husband or family can understand her. So, what exactly should a woman do? If you can share any tips to all the women out there who have just delivered or who's pregnant now.
Basically, every women go through it, and it is inevitable. When the family gives her all kind of a support, the burden will be less. Otherwise, it's in our society, it's typically like mother should go through everything. She is the one who has to take care of everything. She is the one who is responsible for everything. If it is good, she is not been appreciated, but if it is bad, then she is the one who is going to get the blame. So if family is going to support her, everything is good, but most of the cases that is not possible. So women who is planning to give birth, go for a pregnancy, or just born with the baby, they have to think about their health also, because internally if they are healthy, they can manage so many things. um, Most of the women I have seen, because even I have such patients, postpartum patients, they are, now it is their knowledge is little better
So the
compared to, yeah.
postpartum depression is real, right, ma'am?
Postpartum depression is there. Yeah, I have seen such patients. It is real, it is there.
Yeah.
But again, that is due to their hormonal health. So you cannot, she cannot be able to express it to other person, or maybe most of the time in our society people cannot understand it.
Yeah.
So that is one thing to manage. Second thing is weight gain. Weight gain is like, most of the women, they just maintain, they just carry the pregnancy weight throughout their life. After that, it is something like they feel like, if I prioritize my health, then I look bad to the society. Or for some, it is like, I anyway, I have a baby now, I have a family to take care, to whom to impress, I should, you know reduce my weight, or I should look good. It is
Yeah.
not just looking good. Weight is not a problem just for the look, it is a problem for the internal health also.
Yes.
So internally, if things should be better, then you should maintain your weight.
Yeah.
You should work out, you should put effort on your body, you should spend working out or walking or some activities to lose the weight. At the same time, you should prioritize your meal.
Yeah.
You are not a dustbin to eat whatever left over at home. Oh, I have to throw it to the dustbin. No, let me consume this. Otherwise, this little, it will be waste. Let me have it. No, you are not a dustbin. So, women should not consider herself as a dustbin. So,
So
she should prioritize her diet, prioritize her activities to take care of her family, her baby, and her society.
so weight loss post pregnancy should be a priority,
Should
right?
be a priority.
So I think, ma'am, in this whole journey, men also play a pivotal role, right? So men and the family which is surrounding her. So can you just share few tips, or can you just make us aware that how a family should respond, or what is the role of men in this whole journey?
Definitely, now we are seeing lots of nuclear families where husband and wife living with the child. So husband and wife both has a equal responsibility when it comes to a family, because she is not the one wheel to pull everything. He has to take the responsibility, maybe helping her in her all kind of activities. Her work pressure, if she's working, her work pressure is something which she only need to handle, but rest of the things, as a family, both can share the responsibilities. Maybe helping her in the kitchen, or taking care of the baby when she is not available, and all such things he needs to take responsibility. Then only she can handle her pressure, she can prioritize her health and life also, and at the same time, along with him, she can also grow with respect to her career and her life. So it is must, and it is most important, men should understand this responsibility. If she is living with her family or in her extended family, like I can say extended family now, in-laws or parents or anyone, definitely for her it is a even more bigger responsibility, and at the same time for the child, it is a good environment to grow. That responsibility even family has to take. Giving the good environment to the child at that stage, it is very important, and giving sharing her responsibility with respect to baby or family is also very important, because she is juggling between her work, her family, her baby, and everything. Everyone should understand that she should also prioritize her life, so we should give her that space. Because most of the time, we women, we just seek for a moment where we can sit alone and spend our own time. It's not that we are asking for something lavish. We just want that corner to sit and spend our time. That relaxation gives lots of happiness. So that is most important for women.
Understood. Yes, ma'am. So, for women after their 40s, like even in mid 40s, they started experiencing hot flushes and certain things like that, which even they are not realizing what changes is happening to their body. So, I know these are all symptoms of premenopause and menopausal symptoms. So, how can you make our audience aware of what these symptoms are? Or what are the changes that can happen to a woman's body after their 40s?
Premenopause and menopausal stage is very crucial for women. I completely agree with you. And in the menopause, it is like almost the estrogen cycle will be stopped. But in the premenopause stage, it is lots of imbalance happens, hormonal imbalances happens, and basically women go through lots of issues at this stage. uh, Most of the women, they don't even have any idea that it is premenopause or perimenopause stage, and I'm going through this kind of emotional stress or physical stress, or body wise so many things are changing, and they don't even have any idea. So basically, how you have maintained till then your hormonal health, how good it was till then, that impacts their perimenopausal stage and menopausal stage. If a woman is active, her lifestyle is active, if she is having good nutritional balanced food, and if she is healthy mentally, mentally healthy means stress level, so then she will face, maybe we can say she face less perimenopausal or menopausal symptoms. And who has lots of ups and downs in their period cycle before, and if they are sedentary, then definitely they are going to face lots of um, uh, issues with respect to their perimenopause and menopause. Now, for them, they have to, at least it is not never too late. What I say, never too late. Even at your 50s, even at your 60s, you can start changing your health and lifestyle. So 40 is not at all a bad age to start. So if they start at that time, at least they can control lots of health issues with that, especially with respect to their perimenopausal stage. Hot flashes, mood swings, irritation, or depression, anxiety, or joint pains, back pain, leg pain. Most of the women go through knee pain, and lots of inflammation in the body. Everything can be handled, everything can be controlled with the proper diet and proper lifestyle. So that they should prioritize at least at that age. Till then, I always say women should prioritize herself first. I mean, that is the first and foremost thing. Then she is able to take care of everyone. But if she is ignored all these things in her 30s, at least in 40s she should start. Then she can handle all her stress, perimenopausal stress, very easily. And most of the women, it is not at all a problem if she's having a good lifestyle.
So again, it's the hormones that is
Exactly.
affecting their emotions, mentally, physically, everything. Okay. So that we reach towards our end of our conversation, I want you to give to our audience few tips about what kind of exercises they should do on a daily basis. What are the foods that they should take? If you can tell us few things.
In food, they should prioritize protein. Protein is very, very important because if their if their muscles are taken care, then their entire health is taken care. So that's most important. And protein is the one substance which is much needed for all kind of activity in our body. So they should prioritize protein. Protein should be part of their diet of every meal, not just one meal in a day, every meal. And along with that, they should consume fiber for their good gut health. Fiber rich food should be there, and limit their carbohydrates intake, because most of the people, they prioritize carbohydrates thinking that that will give them, satiating feel or something like, uh, then only their food is complete. It's not like that. They should limit their carbohydrates, not too much of carbohydrates in their diet. And sweets and sugar, uh, occasionally everything is fine. That shouldn't be a habit. Sugar, white sugar, if they cut off, it is much better. And junk food, they shouldn't touch. I always say they shouldn't touch, but if they cut down the consumption, definitely they'll reach the stage that they can cut down everything with respect to junk food. With respect to their activities, they should prioritize strength training. Strength training is the one thing which keeps their body in a capable stage, and they can feel the power in them. They can feel that they are strong, and that strong body can give them lots of strength. They can manage their entire activity throughout their life. They don't need to depend on anyone. So most importantly, if men or women, they should be independent. Independent is not just financially, independent physically also. We shouldn't lean on someone for our day to day activities. For that good health, women should prioritize their strengthening training always, along with their movement. Movement is something called walking or your movement activities. So strengthening is most important. Other than this, they can go for any activity which they feel it gives them happiness or comfort, or lift their mood. Most important.
Okay. Also, ma'am, what is the ideal age when a person can start their physical activities?
There is no ideal age to start their physical activities. If you see in China, kids, early age only they start their physical activities, and throughout the life they'll be stick to it. So we think that our kids are very delicate. They can only go and play. Even if they fall, they will be so scared that, oh, fell down, now got hurt, what to do, and all these things. Next time we don't even allow kids to play around. So it's not the case. From the childhood till they are alive, we should prioritize activities. There is no age for it, and activities will not harm anyone.
So now that you've mentioned about protein rich food, carbohydrate, and about fibers, could you please tell our viewers what are those superfoods?
With respect to fiber, I always prefer green leafy vegetables and vegetables, lots of green leafy vegetables. So, most important part. And with respect to protein, if you are a vegetarian, it could be your dairy, paneer, or cottage cheese, or yogurt. It can be a protein source, and also nuts and seeds can be a protein source. And for non-vegetarian, there are plenty options. You can go for any non-vegetarian food which you feel adequate for your body, and the consumption should be in the limit. And with respect to carbohydrates, it's always better to go with the whole grains. Whole grains are much complicated to digest compared to the refined flours. So it's always better to go with the whole grains. And fat also should be prioritized. Fat, in the sense it is desi ghee or cold pressed oils, can be consumed, can be part of their diet. And mixing all these things, we have to have a balance in these food things, I mean food items, which how much we are taking, what time we are taking, and what is the time we are taking. And last one, that fruit we have forgot, we didn't even mention. Mostly fruits, people they just take it on empty stomach. I would say go with the food, then you take fruit as your dessert. That is the better way to consume fruit. Then you don't get that high sugar spike up and crashing kind of a metabolism in your body, and you will be healthy always.
Now that you've spoken about the superfoods, there are supplements as well. There are a lot of talk in the society, in the social media, everywhere about a lot of supplements. Like it can be protein, it can be other vitamin related supplements. So, what is your personal suggestion on what can be the supplements that a person can take?
Yes, supplements, few supplements which is much needed for the body, unless you are working on outside as a physical, it is kind of a physical activity kind of a work, then you don't need any supplements, I would say, because you will be always on sunlight, and burn all those calories which you eat, or you get everything adequately, you take food also. But otherwise supplements are much needed for those who are working inside the four walls. So, first thing is vitamin D3 and K2, which is most important because most of us don't even go to sunlight. So, second thing is our omega 3. Omega 3 is most essential. If the person is consuming fish adequately, then it is fine. Otherwise, one should go for a omega 3 supplements. It is hard to incorporate through the food. And third thing is, if they are working out, if a person is working out and into lots of physical activities, much prioritize on uh, magnesium glycinate. That is most important. These three supplements are general supplements which is needed for everybody. Otherwise, it depends on what kind of a health condition, what are all the complications they go through. Depends on that, the supplements has to be taken. Simply, putting on supplements and thinking that I'll be healthy, it's not possible. You should have the same metabolism to digest it, consume it, and take the benefit out of it.
Understood, ma'am. So that was really great. So this was such an interesting conversation, ma'am. Do you have anything else that you want to share with our audience?
I would like to say that women, please prioritize yourself, your health, your betterment. Then you can take care of the whole family and the whole society. So, with respect to your food, activities, or your mental health, most important, don't ignore it. For the sake of your family, you should come first, compared to all other things. So prioritize it. Happy Women's Day to all other women here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Like you can see, there are a lot of topics that we have to talk about to you through our Geostar podcast channel. So we will be coming up with more such interesting videos. So like, share and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell button. Thank you. Bye. See you on the next episode.